Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. It is Friday night and I can tell you, I'm Peter Martin, and I can tell you there's a bit of friction in the air tonight. Barry Ferguson is with us in the studio and so is Alan Ruff. We've already been arguing with each other ahead of what is such an important weekend in the Scottish Premiership, and there's a small matter of the Scotland manager. Yeah, lots to talk about. Thank you very much for joining us on the programme. As ever, Monday to Friday, we always like to bring you the football show and look ahead to the weekend's action. There's a match tonight we'll discuss to see if Hibs can leapfrog Hearts in the Premiership table. And of course, will that restore natural order? It's always a great battle in Edinburgh. And there's a small matter of the Glasgow Derby taking place high noon on Sunday, Celtic Park, Celtic against Rangers, and the chance for Neil Lennon's team to go 13 points clear. Here's a look at the big game from our reporter Gabriel Antoniazzi.
Celtic Park is the venue for Sunday's third Old Firm clash of the season, but much has changed since these two fierce rivals last met. On the 29th of December, Rangers beat Celtic 1-0, the first time in 6 years, moving level on points with them going into the winter break. Additions in January even left some people tipping Steven Gerrard's men for the title. But since coming back in 2019, Rangers have dropped points in 5 separate games, leaving them 10 points behind the Scottish champions. Celtic have been inspired this year, only dropping 2 points in their 10 matches, conceding only 2 goals. And what has changed for them? Of course, Brendan Rodgers has left, down to Leicester, meaning Neil Lennon is back in the Celtic Park hot seat. How will he fare? Lennon knows that a win would all but secure an 8th title in a row.
Be a hammer blow, yeah, but again, not insurmountable. But you know, again, we're talking hypothetically. The objective is to win the game. I want Rangers to feel the noise, feel the power that we can generate in the stadium, not just from the team but the supporters as well. I think that's what being at home in the derby is all about. We generate that atmosphere and we feed off that.
His counterpart Steven Gerrard was also positive before the match.
I think it's a fantastic game for everyone that's involved. There's both sets of supporters, both sets of players. But from a manager's point of view, yeah, I think it's an interesting game. Big atmosphere. You know, they've got a very good home record, but we feel confident going there. And I think it'll be a fascinating match for everyone.
Now, the game itself may not be as pivotal as it once could have been. If Celtic win, they move 13 points clear and the title is surely theirs. But if Rangers win, it's down to 7, giving them a small glimmer of hope. The match offers both managers an opportunity to see how far they've progressed since the last match. And of course, the Old Firm is much more than just 3 points.
Yeah, it's much more than 3 points, as Barry Ferguson will testify to. There's the bragging rights. There's, of course, people going to their work on the Monday morning, have to face up to their best mates. But as far as the cauldron of the game, you've sampled it, it's unrivalled.
Oh, it's amazing. It's difficult to describe, if I'm being honest. You've actually got to play in it, but it's one of the games I loved, whether it be at Ibrox or whether it be at Celtic Park. Obviously, being at Celtic Park, the vast majority of fans being Celtic fans, it was interesting when you went out to do your warm up. I felt the full brunt of it at times, but I loved it. You know what I mean? That's what it was all about, and that's the games you want to play in. It's an amazing atmosphere, and it's an amazing game. It's truly unbelievable to play in.
With that in mind, Ruffy, how big a blow is it? Tierney looks as if he could miss the game.
Well, Tierney would have been a big plus, obviously. You know that I think they've missed him. You know, obviously his marauding runs down the line and quality balls into the box is something that Celtic are missing just now. And It will be a big miss. I think the supporters love him as well, and so I think they'll be really trying their best to get him fit for this one.
Who would you play in there?
It's a tough one. I don't think he'll tamper with like Hayes going back there. You know,
He's a Gary.
It'd have to be somebody with the experience of an Old Firm game, somebody that knows what's going to happen and how and handle it more than anything else. Yeah, I think I would go for a recognised fullback.
Yeah, I think if they in any way contemplate what Brendan Rodgers attempted the last time with Callum McGregor at left back, it would just absolutely give a huge boost to Rangers in the middle of the park.
Well, you're getting a huge boost when the team sheets come in. Kieran Tierney's not on there because he's a fantastic player. Let's be honest about that. And what happened the last time, again, if I'm in that Rangers dressing room and I see Callum McGregor playing at left back, you're taking a hell of a lot away from the Celtic midfield if Callum McGregor's not in there. So I'm with Ruffy. I think he'll go with the tried and trusted guys who have played that position before, whether it's Gary or Johnny Hayes. And let's be fair, Johnny Hayes has done okay when he's went in there, but I'm with Ruffy. I think he'll go with somebody who that's his natural position.
Yeah, okay. Of course, Celtic could go 13 points clear and edge ever closer to the title. And again, Neil Lennon in this interim role, everybody's wondering if he lands the treble, will he get the job on a full-time basis? Scott Brown certainly suggests that he would be in the box seat. And again, the manager himself says his role depends on getting the trophies in the cabinet rather than the manner of the results.
My role here does not depend on Sunday. Result-wise, it will depend on whether I can deliver the trophies, I assume, and in particular the league title. So Sunday's game, win, lose or draw, I'm not sure it's going to have a huge effect either way.
Yeah, so Neil Lennon is well aware of what's at stake. Of course, as far as Steven Gerrard is concerned, he's looking at his team to try and deliver something that not many teams have managed to do. Celtic's home record is impressive.
We'd like to be the first team domestically to go there and take the 3 points. I think our best performance can achieve that. I think we have to take confidence from the last time that both teams went head to head. Obviously it was a different environment, so this time we won't have the power of Ibrox behind us. We won't have them cheering every duel or every match-up across the pitch. That was certainly a big help for us, but the players have got to have the mentality and the confidence that they can go there and do the same job. So I'm relying on my leaders in the team to all stick together, believe in themselves, and go there and give the best account of themselves. I think that's what our fans want, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, he wasn't overly contemplative there. It just kind of had a little jam, but nevertheless, if you were Steven Gerrard, how would you set your team up to take on Celtic on Sunday?
Hard to beat. Pack the midfield. I think if Rangers are going to get anything out of this game, every single one of the players that he picks need to bring their A game.
4-5-1, 5-4-1.
Yep, I think that's what he will do. I think I would look to bring in like a McCrory and Jack and maybe Arfield in the middle of the park, knowing that guys that can get about and get in about the Celtic midfield, because I think that the battles are won and lost in the middle of the park. I know Rangers have got Morelos, a lot of people talk about that, fantastic player. The same with Celtic, I've got Edward and another few match winners, but the battle's won in the middle of the park, and I think if Rangers are strong in there and make them compact and difficult to get through, then Rangers have got a chance of getting something. Yeah,
well, it was a strange one today at one of the press conferences. One of the journalists suggested to Steven Gerrard that obviously with so few Rangers fans there, will it feel like going into the Lions' Den?
What do you mean? What do you mean by Lions' Den? There's not going to be any Lions there, is there? It's a football pitch. It's the same size as the one we played at Ibrox. It's 11 men v 11 men. I've never known a fan to win a football match. A set of fans can make noise and make the atmosphere very interesting for everyone that we can all enjoy. But it's not a Lions' Den. A Lions' Den is if you jump over a cage and you've got 4 lions chasing you and you're fearing for your life.
Okay, now that he's explained the Lions' Den and you jump over into a cage and there's lions there snarling at you, roughly. Yeah. I don't think he was into the metaphor at all. Do you?
No, I don't know anybody who'd want to jump into a Lions' Den. So But it will be a cauldron, and Barry's already told us, and players will have to stand up and be counted, and that's been his problem this year, the consistency.
Okay, you can give us your view. Who do you think is going to win, Celtic or Rangers, on Sunday at Celtic Park? Coming up, we'll look at the rest of the SPF fixtures, and we're going to have a ding-dong battle about the future of the Scotland manager, Alex McLeish. But here's the winner of our quiz. The quiz was quite easy this week due to the fact that I blabbed it out on Monday on the programme, Ruffy. If you got it wrong, you needed to have a seriously long, hard look at yourself. Okay, here's the rest of the SPFL fixtures to look forward to in the Premiership. Of course, Livingston against Hibs tonight, Hearts Aberdeen, Kilmarnock Hamilton, Motherwell against St Johnstone, St Mirren against Dundee, and the match we've been talking about, Celtic against Rangers, Sunday at high noon. There you are, I've built it up as if it's some kind of Western and gunslingers aplenty. As far as Hibs, your old team, Ruffy, it's never easy to get there to Livingston and try and get a win. I mean, I'm looking at this, and the real incentive for Paul Heckingbottom's side is to leapfrog Hearts on the table. Yeah, I think that'll be the incentive for them. But obviously, the danger for Livingston is set pieces. You know, throw-ins, corners is where they get everything. In the games that they win, so Hibs will have to be really be aware of that. But obviously Livingston getting the draw up at Aberdeen will be something that they'll be hoping they can build on, but I think Hibs will just have too much for them in this one. Yeah, Barry? I'll disagree. I think Livingston will win this one. Yeah? I think they're good at home, they're physical at home, and obviously being used to the AstroTurf, I think Livingston will win it. Okay, Motherwell against St Johnstone is an interesting one, because 1 win and 4 for Motherwell, but they could jump into 7th spot. They're against the St Johnstone side. I mean, they were on such a poor run until suddenly Simeon Jackson's Panenka failure gave them that chance to get the win over St Mirren. It's been a long time coming, but it's a real shot in the arm for St Johnstone. Yeah, I think that'll be the deciding point for me. Obviously, St Johnstone having the midweek game, obviously they'll have picked up a few niggling injuries here and there, and I think Motherwell might just nick this one at home just by the odd goal. Okay, I'm looking at Hearts against Aberdeen. Hearts, I mean, I couldn't even tell you how we all felt looking at Hamilton. What a great result for the Ackies against Hearts. Nobody foresaw that. Aberdeen, on the other hand, this for me is the last chance saloon if they're going to have any sniff of trying to close the gap on Rangers. Yep, Aberdeen will need to go and win, and obviously Hearts will need to have a reaction after that disappointing result at Hamilton. So I think this has got a draw written all over the top of it. I think it's going to be 1 each. Yeah, I agree. 1 each for me. I think Tynecastle's always a place, you know, that it's difficult. I don't think Aberdeen have got that consistency either, so 1 each for me. Okay, St Mirren, Simeon Jackson will probably put himself forward for a penalty, but I think there'll be 10 other teammates who'll just be saying to him, listen, you've had your chance. They're up against Dundee. St Mirren and Dundee, the defences are really what's letting them down. I must admit, this has got draw written it all over for me. Ruffy, what's your take on it? No, I've been impressed with Dundee in some of the games that I've saw. Again, they've been getting chances, but not been able enough to take them to get their noses in front. I think this will be really, really close, but I'm going to go for Dundee to win this 1-0. I think Dundee will have enough to win this game. Yeah. I do. I think Jim McIntyre got a lot of time from him. I think he's a good manager, and I think he'll pull this one off. It's hard to believe, but Killie against Hamilton Ackies, Killie have had 1 win in 10. Their form has been poor over the last couple of months. Obviously, I'm sure somebody will come up with mitigating circumstances for their drop-off. But if they win and Aberdeen should lose, suddenly Killie are in 3rd in the table, Barry. Yep, and I think they will win. Hamilton shown decent form at home, away from form. Their away form, ain't that great. I know they had a great result up at Aberdeen, but in general terms it's not been great. So I think Kelly will have too much for them. I think they'll win it. Yeah, I think Kelly will come back. I don't think Hamilton travel particularly well unless they go to Aberdeen.
And I think the biggest problem for Kilmarnock is Greg Stewart. I think Greg Stewart was a tremendous player for them, and they've not been the same since he left.
Yep, okay, that's the Premiership. You can give us your view, you can give us your thoughts on who you think is going to win in the games in the top half of significance and the bottom half. Do it on social media. You can subscribe to the YouTube, give us your thoughts there on Facebook and of course on Twitter as well. So from there to the ongoing situation we have on the international stage, because a story came out in the Daily Record suggesting Alex McLeish would be sacked within 24 hours. That didn't materialise. There were all sorts of other aspersions as to his health, and of course incidents that apparently had taken place prior to the game against San Marino. Now, quite simply, I think the longer it goes on, the more uncertainty it is for Alex McLeish. He will have had conversations, I have no doubt, with the SFA. I think it's incumbent upon the SFA to come out and say to everyone, he is the manager moving forward, we've given him a contract, or no, we've all discussed it, he's sacked, but I still think the timing of this is very poor.
Yep, when the story broke, I was fully expecting something to come out of the SFA today, and I'm shocked. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. And I feel for Alex. Listen, if it is true and it's affecting his health or whatever, look, health, family come before football. Now, you know how I feel about Alec, Peter. I've got a lot of time for him. I played under him at Rangers, Scotland and Birmingham. And this will be hurting him. What's been going on and what you're expecting for your gaffers above is to come out and support you one way or another. Let you know that you're going to be continuing to be the Scotland manager, or listen, your time's up, we're going to go down a different route. And I think it's not right that the SFA have not come out and clarified that.
Ruffy, you and I disagree on this one. I think the SFA should come out, clarify his position and just nip in the bud a situation that has developed that's allowed every media pundit, every newspaper now to have a take on this. Whether Alex is right for the job to start with is by the by. He got the job, he was given the contract. Secondary to that, if people think he should be sacked because of the results, that's fine. Alex big enough and man enough to take it on the chin. But this, for me, this delay, this uncertainty over his future, and allowing a national newspaper to actually suggest things that have happened that they could absolutely kill off in one foul swoop, I think it's poor, and it's a bad reflection on the manager. And if indeed he is sacked, unless there are mitigating circumstances that they come up with as a reason for the delay, I think people should then look to that board and say, some of you have to review your position.
If that is the case and that's the story that materialises, I would agree with you 100%. I think I'm not a big fan of the people at the top of the SFA. I don't include Ian Maxwell in that. I think he's just in there just now. But I've been in the game long enough, and a really big bugbearer in me are people trying to run a manager out of a job before he actually starts a campaign, and I think that has happened with certain people, and I don't like it, and it's now materialising. I hate wee stories coming out without, I know journalists don't have to back up their stories. I hate things being thrown out there that are against the guy. We don't know whether they're true. The only people that know them are other people who are putting them out there. I agree with you to a certain extent, yeah, we should all know, but I think the most important person that needs to know is Alec McLeish. The SFA, and I would like to think Ian Maxwell or whoever it is, has phoned Alec and said, look Alec, forget about all these stories. Okay, things aren't going particularly well just now. We're happy with what you're doing. You're going to be in charge for the next 2 games. Just carry on what you're doing and let this story materialise to see if it is true or not true.
I know, Alec, and see if that has happened, what Ruffy says, if Ian Maxwell has phoned Alec, I know what Alec would have says. Well, get straight out and put it out.
Yeah.
Listen, but you're supporting me.
But that's on his.
No, but I would be, if somebody phoned me, I'd be like, listen, see, to stop all this nonsense, it's whether it is nonsense, whether it's true, get straight out. Well, listen, put something out in the press that I'm staying or I'm going.
Yeah, I've got no problem with people who are pundits or journalists who write columns who have an opinion on whether the manager stay or go. That's fine. That's the way the world works. We all do it. I give an opinion. Some people like it, some people don't. We all do it on this programme. We try to be as fair and balanced as we can. I have no doubt in my mind, Keith at the Daily Record is a good operator. Now, he'll have sources who've tipped a wink on certain things that have happened. I don't have a problem with the story. What I do have a problem with is the SFA's delay in creating this uncertainty over it. And if indeed there are concerns, you know, you immediately nip it in the bud and say, look, he's our manager, we back him. This story has no foundation. There may well have been some areas of it. There may well have been an incident before San Marino. It's just a minor incident. We move on. He's got a job to do. Get us to the Nations League qualifier that he has done. And then over and above that, it's a bad result against Kazakhstan, but we are still backing him. That's what needs to be said, and that kills that off.
Yep, I totally agree with you. And that's what I'm saying is, Ruffy, they've got to come out and say something to support.
It doesn't kill the story.
How does it?
Because the paper, whoever it is, will say, well, we stand by our story.
No.
It doesn't matter what you say, we're standing by what we've printed.
Yeah, but
that's the way it works.
No, but the point is here, quite simply, they could say, we discussed the certain incidents, but we still feel we back the manager. If the part of the story is not true, then they can come out and say that as well, and rubbish things that have left a real cloud over Alex McLeish. And I think it's incumbent on the SFA and everybody. This programme could go on for ages, believe me, on this situation, but we will find out hopefully over the weekend if Alex McLeish remains the Scotland manager or not. To Barry, to Ruffy, from myself, thanks for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.